This audio has puppy play. If this is not for you, feel free to watch another audio of mine or someone else's. Thank you. Okay, yes. Thank you, Maggie. Yes, I know the rules. I'll get them registered at the front desk as soon as I can get them into classes. Currently, they don't have a puppy diploma yet. And yes, I know I can't get that until they can walk on their own 2 feet and understand the 5 simple commands. Until then, I can keep them in my apartment or with me at all times. I know the laws. Once they pass their classes, they can come and go as they please. Until then, I have to keep them near me or on a leash. You'll need to make sure you clean up the messes too. I don't need this place go down in value. I know. I'll keep an eye on them. Besides, you loved my last pup. Lucy was such a good girl and I trained her. But this one, I'll have them in classes as soon as they can. They will teach them how to behave and what a good pup needs to do to get their collar. They will be there while I'm at work, so they won't wreck my apartment. Right now, I'll be taking off as many days as needed until they can. They are 8 weeks old, so they're supposed to be able to walk a bit. This one doesn't? Well, they were sick for the first few weeks of their life, so they are a bit stunted, though they should be able to walk by the end of next week. We could be lucky and they will be walking in 3 days. They have been trying hard to, but they have not been able to walk more than a step or 2. I'd like them to be able to walk over 20 steps before falling. That way they can learn how to come when they are called, since that is one of the commands they need to know before starting the class. Okay, just watch over them. I'll get some of the paperwork ready, and once you get them in class, we can register them as a learning pup. Once they finish, they can be fully registered as a loyal pup who can go out and do errands. Yes, thank you so much for understanding. No, pup, you're good. She's just worried you'll make a mess, but I know you won't. You're my good pup. I do understand the worry, but I am not a kid anymore, and I'm going to watch over you for the time being, so no need to worry so much. Well, let's get to showing you around, pup. Now, over here. You can crawl around in this room over here. I have this room set up just for you. Over in this corner are puppy pads and fake grass that you can use to go to the bathroom on. At least till you learn to use the baby toilet over here. Luckily, puppy care places have puppy pads and a lawn if you're not potty trained yet. Yes, it's all yours. Also, over here, I have a few toys you may love, like this ball and a rope for you to chew on. I also got a few baby toys because I know you may be part puppy, but you are also part baby. So, I got you blocks. As you grow, you may like more baby toys, but you pups usually like more puppy stuff. Now, I do have a dog bed for you. I know it's a bit big, but you should grow into it. Yes, this is all for you, my sweet little pup. Okay, time to look at more of the house. Now, down this way is my room. See, I have my own bed. You'll get one when you're a bit older, pup. Over here we have my computer that I sometimes work at. I will be working from home for the next few days, so I can be near you. I also have another bed here for you, so you can sleep while I work. Now, time to show you my last pup's favorite part of the apartment. This is the kitchen. Here, I can make some tasty food for us, though I can't make you some yet, 'cause you're on a special puppy diet until you grow up a bit more. It is supposed to help you grow stronger. Sometimes human food isn't good for small pups, but once you grow a bit, I can start making some for you. Okay, pup. We can have an early dinner. I luckily have some food for you, so it will be nice and fresh for you. Now, because you are still small, I can't feed you so much. Here, let me sit you down. Let's see. I can give you 1/4 cup of puppy kibble and 1/4 cup of chicken or beef broth to soften it, and 1 tablespoon of chicken or beef puree. Since you're still on some medication, I can add it to the food. That's good. They need to take it 4 times a day, once at every meal and 1 before bed. Okay, I can do that. Wait, it says here that you fight when you're given medicine? I know it's icky, pup, but it's the only reason why you can be here with me. Besides, you only have to take it for 2 more days after today, so you only need to take it 10 more times in total. Look here, pup. You may feel better, and you may no longer be sick, but when you're moving from one place to another, it can stress your body out, and it may make you sick again. It is just to make sure you're as healthy as you can be at your new home. All pups go through this. With my last pup, she was sick before I took her in, and she got even sicker. Now, you are going to take these meds, whether or not. I'm not risking you getting sick because I was neglectful again. Good. Besides, it's better to take meds with food, so it shouldn't taste too bad with your meals. And maybe a snack before bedtime would be nice. Yeah, that would suck. Luckily, I wasn't planning on doing that. There is a way to mix it with food so you don't really taste it. Plus, adding it to warm food makes it even harder to taste, and there shouldn't be a hard shell for you to bite into. Yes, there is. Here, all I need to do is heat up the broth. Now, as that warms up, I'll add the kibble. Now, a scoop of beef puree. Beef has a stronger taste than chicken, so it should help a lot. It's now warmed up. Now a good mix. mash up the pill. Add it to the food. And mix it again, and I can check and see if the kibbles are getting soft and the pills really mixed up and maybe even dissolved. And here we go. Dinner for a good pup. Go ahead, try it. That's good, pup. Now, you eat. I'll go over to my living room and I'll finish my book while you eat. When you're done, come and find me. I'm over here. Just follow my voice. Hey, pup. Would you like me to read for you as you rest? I know you've gone through a lot today, so you must be tired. Oh, what, pup? Can you not crawl over? Oh my, look at you walk. Whoop, you fell down. Do you need me to... I guess I don't need to help you. Yes, you can walk, but you gotta be able to walk a bit better. Whoop! I got you, pup. Come up here. Rest now. How about a reward? I can read you some of my book. This is a book. It has words in it, and you can read it, and they can tell you a lot about the world or tell you a story. I'm reading about Norse myths. I read it for fun. Right now, I'm on the story of Mimir's Well. Would you like me to read it to you? Okay, Pop. Mimir's Well, or how Odin lost his eye. In the beginning of things, before there was any world or sun, moon, and stars, there were the giants, for these were the oldest creatures that ever breathed. They lived in Jotunheim, the land of frost and darkness, and their hearts were evil. Next came the gods, the good Aesir, who made earth and sky and sea, and who dwelt in Asgard above the heavens. Then were created the queer little dwarves, who lived underground in the caverns of the mountains, working at their mines of metal and precious stones. Last of all, the gods made men to dwell in Midgard, the good world that we know, between which and the glorious home of the Aesir stretched by frost, the bridge of rainbows. In those days, folks said there is a mighty ash tree named Yggdrasil, so vast that its branches shaded the whole earth and stretched up into heaven where the Aesir dwelt, while its roots sank far below the lowest depth. In the branches of the big ash tree lived a queer family of creatures. First, there was a great eagle, who was wiser than any bird that ever lived, except the two ravens, Thought and Memory, who sat upon Father Odin's shoulders and told him the secret which they learned in their flights over the wide world. Near the great eagle perched a hawk, and 4 antlered deer browsed among the buds of Yggdrasil. At the foot of the tree coiled a huge serpent, who was always gnawing hungrily at its roots, with a whole colony of little snakes to keep him company. So many that they could never be counted. The eagle at the top of the tree and the serpent at its foot were enemies, always saying hard things to each other. Between the two skipped up and down a little squirrel, a tale-bearer and a gossip, who repeated each unkind remark, and like the malicious neighbor he was, kept their quarrel ever fresh and green. In one place at the roots of the Yggdrasil was a fair fountain called Well, where the 3 Norn maidens who knew the past, present, and future dwelt with their pets, the 2 white swans. This was magic water in the fountain, which the Norn sprinkled every day upon the giant tree to keep it green. Water so sacred that everything which entered it became white as the film of an eggshell. Close beside the sacred well, the Aesir had their council hall, to which they galloped every morning over the rainbow bridge. But Father Odin, king of all the Aesir, knew of another fountain, more wonderful still. The 2 ravens whom he sent forth to bring him news had told him. This also was below the roots of the Yggdrasil, in the spot where the sky and ocean met. Here for centuries and centuries the giant Mimir had sat keeping guard over his hidden well, in the bottom of which lay such a treasure of wisdom as was to be found nowhere else in the world. Every morning Mimir dipped his glittering horn, Gilol, into the fountain and drew out a draught of the wondrous water, which he drank to make him wise. Every day he grew wiser and wiser, and as this had been going on ever since the beginning of things, you can scarcely imagine how wise Mimir was. Now it did not seem right for Father Odin that a giant should have all the wisdom to himself, for the giants were the enemies of the Aesir, and the wisdom which they had been hoarding for ages before the gods were made was generally used for evil purposes. Moreover, Odin longed and longed to become the wisest being in the world. So he resolved to win a draught from Mimir's well, if in any way that could be done. One night when the sun had set behind the mountains of Midgard, Odin put on his broad-brimmed hat and his striped cloak, taking his famous staff in his hand, trudging down the long bridge to where it ended by Mimir's secret grotto. "Good day, Mimir," said Odin, entering. "I have come for a drink from your well." The giant was sitting with his knees drawn up to his chin, his long white beard over his folded arms, and his head nodding, for Mimir was very old, and he often fell asleep while watching over his precious spring. He woke with a frown at Odin's word. "You wish to drink from my well, do you?" he growled. "Hey, I let no one drink from my well." "Nevertheless, you must let me have a draught from your glittering horn," insisted Odin, "and I will pay you for it." "Oh-ho, you will pay me for it, will you?" echoed Mimir, eyeing his visitor keenly, for now that he was wide awake, his wisdom taught him that he was no ordinary stranger. "What will you pay for a drink from my well? And why do you wish it so much?" "I can see with my eyes all that goes on in heaven and upon earth," said Odin, "but I cannot see into the depths of the ocean. I like the hidden wisdom of the depth, and wit that lies at the bottom of your fountain. My ravens tell me many secrets, but I would know all. As for payment, ask what you will, and I will pledge anything in return for a draught of wisdom." Then Mimir's keen glance grew keener. "You are Odin, of the race of gods," he cried. "We giants are centuries older than you, and our wisdom, which we have treasured during these ages, when we were the only creatures in all space, is a precious thing. If I grant you a draught from my well, you will become as one of us, a wise and dangerous enemy. It is a goodly price, Odin, which I shall demand for a boon so great." Now, Odin was growing impatient for the sparkling water. "Ask your price," he frowned. "I have promised that I will pay." "What say you, then, to leaving one of those far-seeing eyes of yours at the bottom of my well?" asked Mimir, hoping that he would refuse the bargain. "This is the only payment I will take." Odin hesitated. It was indeed a heavy price, and one that he could ill afford. He was proud of his noble beauty, but he glanced at the magic fountain bubbling mysteriously in the shadow, and that he knew he must have a draught. "Give me the glittering horn," he answered. "I pledge you my eye for a draught to the brim." Very unwillingly, Mimir filled his horn from the fountain of wisdom and handed it to Odin. "Drink, then," he said. "Drink and grow wise. This hour is the beginning of trouble between your race and mine." And wise Mimir foretold the truth. Odin thought merely of wisdom, which was to be his. He seized the horn eagerly and emptied it without delay. From that moment he became wiser than anyone else in the world, except Mimir himself. Now he had a price to pay, which was not so pleasant. When he went away from the grotto, he left at the bottom of the dark pool one of his fiery eyes, which twinkled and winked up through the magic depths, like the reflection of a star. This is how Odin lost his eye, and why from that day he was careful to pull his gray hat low over his face when he wanted to pass unnoticed, for by this oddity folk could easily recognize the wise lord of Asgard. "Oh, pup, did you fall asleep?" "Oh, you're so cute when you sleep. Don't worry, pup. I will protect you. You're safe with me." Good night, my good pup. Thank you for listening to my audio. If you like this audio, feel free to subscribe so you can be notified when part 3 comes out. Again, thank you for watching until the end.